Hello everybody and welcome back to Cronos, the New Dawn. We are in the throes of the end, and we're going to find the Pathfinder and end this. So, in the last part it was revealed basically that the Pathfinder was obsessed with Veronica and was keeping her body he was keeping her body because he was trying to like find a way to save her. And we also found out that the traveler here is Veronica as well. So I still feel like there's some questions that I'm... Okay. I still feel like there's some questions that I need answered. We know that he has the ability to open up rifts with this that little hooked sight thing that he has, and travel through to the past. So we also know that he is like the cause of how all of this started in the first place. But things that I still don't know is really necessarily how all of this got started. Like, how did he come back to begin with? Like, or why he came back to begin with. Well, I don't know. Oh, I gotta walk down here. Okay. Say, well, I thought I saw the way up. Okay, we'll just make some more handgun ammo. Oh boy. Jesus. Lead us here. The train.
They were my friends once.
Yeah, I think that's why they're probably like after we've extracted them. That's why it's impacting us so much, is because we're friends with, like, they were. You know, I don't want to say the Traveler, but I want to say that they were Veronica's friends. I know that the Traveler is Veronica, but I don't want to say my friends, because they weren't personally my friends. They were the dead lady that was on the wall's friends. I still want to know what the change is. I mean, they thought it was a virus. We know that it merges everybody together, but like, where did it come from? Some alien world? Another dimension? And also, what does the symbol on the back of the outfit mean? Like, is it part of the church? Is it something else?
Don't you recognize me?
So one thing I did in between this part and the last is that I looked up to see if this game had more than one ending. And it does. It has 3, one of which you can only get in New Game Plus. So I'm wondering if maybe we could do both endings in this, depending on how quick the end of the game goes. I'm sure there will probably be like a final save point. Because there's probably, if I had to guess, we're probably going to be fighting Pathfinder at some point.
I knew we couldn't make it out alive. Since the first phase of research, I just knew. But I still fought. I still tried to make it a decent end for us all. I tried to see him for who he really was. He just wanted to learn. But the moment he began questioning it all, he started to change. Funny, during our conversations, it felt like we both, for a very brief moment, scraped the surface of something truly significant, but that wasn't what they wanted. And so, they took me away from him. Anyway, this is my last recording.
I don't know what the fuck she's talking about.
Research.
Was she like probing him for like answers to the because like the question is, if the Warden / Pathfinder started the change, did it start when he came back and then they captured him? Did it start before then because he came back at a different time? I feel like these are questions I either don't know if they've answered or I don't remember if they've answered. Because there's been like, let's be honest, there's been so many things to read and listen to at this point that I'm not really too sure if I've actually gotten the answers that I want. Because, I mean, like, that's just, like, travelogues, recordings, and then there's, like, files. They're all other comic books. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Around, or is it a completely separate room? Oh, I saw you. Okay, I think this actually is the way to go. So, get a military radio. A nice cell. So his plan is to basically kidnap Veronica so he can, like, I'm guessing make another wall, I don't even know what you want to call it. Zygote, maybe? I don't know. Because what is she at this point? Like, I mean, what was she down there? She was just like a corpse hooked up to machines just to have her mind replicated into bodies, I guess. Alright, we need to find out where this is so we can start making the path to it. It's clearly going to be all the way through here. Well, there's also this. Yeah, okay, so... I can't place it there. I have I will say I've enjoyed this anti-gravity shit. I think it's they've kind of overused it, I think, to an extent, but regardless, I think it adds just a fun mechanic. Like, I like walking all over the walls and shit. Because it's like, you kind of have to figure out which way is up at that point. But, I dig it. Gonna hang out there. I kind of wonder how all this stuff is just here. I wonder how this... Oh shit. I wonder how this works. So Lydia is calming down Marcel, which is actually working to our benefit. I do wonder how, like, all of this works. Like, how pieces are just floating. How this, like, how this technology works. I really have no clue, but I want to know. I don't think it's ever been explained. I don't know if that's happening. I don't think that's happening actually now. See, we're like standing sideways here. See ya. See, the bodies don't float, though. And that, I think that's the best part of the anti-grab stuff. Whoa. That was a big fucking leap. Ooh, clock tower. Okay. So this is clearly going to be a boss fight.
So what exactly do you want from me?
I wanted to save you. When I found out you were my next target, I knew I would not be able to do it.
What's the point of saving me if we can't help anyone else?
We cannot. Here and now. But what I learned about you is that you are relentless.
So what's your plan then?
My plan was to keep you safe and hope you will find a way.
Hope.
So he's looking for her to
That's
fix
it?
this.
That's another thing I learned from you.
So the question that, okay, so one of the questions I still have is the collective. If the collective, what exactly is the collective? My thought of the collective was that it was all of humanity that had been essentially, because remember at the near to the beginning of the game, we knew that they were going into bunkers, and like the government was probably, well, the idea, right, is that the government was telling people to go to these like bunkers or these locations because they were probably, these people's digital, like their consciousness was being digitally uploaded into a server, right? That was my thought. So if the collective, hold on, I gotta pause. I don't want to listen to Lydia whimper. If the collective is all of humanity coalesced into like uploaded to a server or whatever, and they basically control this concept, they're supposed to be the ones who are sending travelers right back in. They're the ones sending them to this place so they could go and extract people. At least that's the idea. So is the collective, because obviously the collective is real, because the warden talks about like disobeying the collective. He was himself a traveler. He was a pathfinder. So question is, what is the purpose of the collective? Where did they come from? How did they become what they are? And why were they sending people back? Why were they sending travelers back to extract people? Because we know, right, that these people are supposed to be like, well, the people who are getting extracted, they're supposed to be key individuals. So my thought, right, I guess maybe the idea, right, is that the collective is trying to prevent this from happening. But if they're trying to prevent it from happening, then why would they send somebody like the Pathfinder back, knowing that he's probably the cause? See, this is like something that I don't necessarily understand if they've explained or not. I might have to look this up, see if there's any answers once we beat the game. Because I don't necessarily know if I have answers to this, and it's kind of bothering me a little bit. Because we got a large patch here. We got a small patch. Alright, shotgun. We're gonna fucking... Actually, I think we can get both of these. We can. Charge speed and clip, okay? So I need 8,400, and I have the shotgun fully upgraded. Alright, so... let me gather all the rest of this. There's a core. Save point. How many cores do I have in here? I have 3, so I can upgrade one more thing. So I'm gonna upgrade the health. I'm gonna upgrade the suit integrity. And then leave the resource limit for the next, for New Game Plus. Okay, so... Well, the bolt cutters, I think are done. So... those can go in there. The small one can go in there. I want the mediums. Let me take out... take out a whole host of that. I have the Arbalist. And then let's do... I mean, I have a lot. Let's just fucking full... Let's just full send on this. We have a medium and a large. We'll make sure to heal if we need to. And if I fuck up, I'll just save here so that if I need to readjust the inventory if I fuck it up, then that's fine. I'm sure there'll be plenty of supplies if we're gonna fight him. There'll be plenty of supplies around, but I want to just fill up the inventory in total.
You just let go.
Veronica, you can't trust him. He's dangerous. I don't know what his plan is, but you can't believe him when he says he wants to save humanity. He only cares about you. And he will hurt you.
He wouldn't.
I've seen it.
Oh yeah, you know, I didn't take any pictures, but
it is better to let go than to cause yourself even more suffering.
So, you mean to tell me that I should just give up the fight? That I should simply choose death? Is that what you're saying?
No, but what he's going to do to you, it's...
Listen. He told me that you'll come for him.
of course, he already
That the
knew.
collective would punish his disobedience.
I am not of the collective.
I'm you.
I am not like him.
So, who are you then?
I am... you.
Oh boy.
I won't let you return what you did to me.
I won't. I promise. I swear.
No, you need to stop this right now.
Stay out of my way.
Oh shit. I did see a box behind me, so.
Is almost ready. Just need to open a rift for her. Go to the time the technology of the collective still worked.
Which is when?
Anything will be possible.
So I'm guessing he's gonna be able to teleport.
You renounce them?
Ooh, this music's kind of sick.
It's true. But I I never reached out.
He has that fucking sickle, so he's gonna be able to.
Until now.
He's gonna be able to
This is
teleport.
madness. Everything you do will lead exactly to what you want to avoid.
I will do what I must.
Yeah, that thing is insane.
It's time to correct the mistakes of the past.
Yeah, he's gonna be able to fucking. Ooh. Ooh. Oh! Oh, I missed. Oh, shit. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, shit. Woo! Oh, fuck. Fuck.
I'm right here, traveler. To shoot straight. Let's put an end to this.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, shit. Oh, I guess I should have gone up there. That was the whole point. Uh-oh. Woo! Oh, shit. He's doing it multiple times.
Never let someone like you stop me.
Oh, fuck. There we go. We were able to get out.
Please don't make this difficult.
Oh, fuck. Shit. I have any. Oh. Well, that wasn't too bad.
Please, let me try. There is still hope for us all.
No.
Sorry. I can't.
I know I hurt you. But this time I will do this right. Just let me try to fix all this.
Believe me, it's better for this to end now. I told you, what he's doing here is not going to save humanity.
It's fine.
What?
Maybe not now. Maybe not in this time. But there are possibilities. There have to be.
How are you so sure?
I know. You've been through a lot. And I believe you when you say who you are. But I also believe that you used to be me. And I don't want to give up now. Not when he came back. Not when we can try again.
He is not who you remember.
He is someone who wants to help me. He is a friend.
He is poison.
I mean, he technically is poison.
Please. I want to have a future. Whatever it may be.
No. You are going to suffer. That is your future.
But without it, we don't even have a flicker of hope. Please. I want this.
So this is where like the two endings are, right? You can either shoot him or spare him. And I think for the first ending, we're gonna do both, I think. But for the first, let's spare him and let them go. Because I'm more intrigued by that ending than I am the shoot him. Because the shoot him, well, here's the thing. The shooting him almost kind of seems, the idea is like, we already know that he is kind of the cause of all this, so if we let him live, then this is just going to repeat, right? But if we spare him, what if he does actually change because we let him have the ability to change, and she knows we're her, so she's going to put him on the path. So I'm kind of more interested by the spare him ending, so I want to do that first. Because we're just going to reload the game and we'll just fight him again, because it's not too bad. And then we'll pick the other one. And I want to see... And then we'll look up the third ending and see what that is. Because you can only get that in New Game Plus. Because the idea is they're supposed to be going back to when the collective's tech still worked, right? So they could fix this. But... I don't know when the hell that would be.
Sorry for everything.
So what happens to me now? Flicker of hope. Oh, is that it? Well, let me skip the credits and see here. Okay, as I said, there's probably a scene, right? Okay, so that was him. Or he found him, right? Dive procedure malfunction. Reboot failed. Scanning for most retrievable memory backup. Failed. 12. 2. Moving system. So he's gonna wake. Is he gonna wake up in this body? Is that the idea? Oh no, that's her. So what, is he dead? Oh no, he does wake up here. Okay. Well, what the fuck's wrong with her? So she's infected. But how?
I will not let you go like this.
So he extracts her?
This is the only way now. Please, you need to understand. I can fix this. I will fix this.
So she's infected. Was she infected before? So he extracts her. So then, okay, so then he extracts her. Okay, so now let me load the game here. Now we'll find him again and we'll do the other one and see if what that one is. So the question is she infected? Is she infected prior to going through the rift? Because that actually seems like a bad ending, right? That seems like it's a bad ending because they go through and he's then just like, then the process just repeats itself, right? Because he extracts her and he's just gonna put her back in the machine. And then he's just gonna, the Traveler will be created. Right?
It's time to correct the mistakes of the past.
Can't get me. Oh, actually, you can. Aww. Maybe we can hit him with the Arbalist? Oh yeah, we fucking wiped him. There we go. Alright, so we have to sit through this again. Because obviously we have to make the choice, so...
Please, let me try. There is still hope for us all.
Well, I know the answer is not really. Not in that. Not if I let you go.
I know I hurt you.
I'm gonna get a thing for the New Game Plus ending.
I will do this right. Just let me try to fix all this. Forgive me.
Stop! Please!
Believe me, it's better for this to end now. I told you, what he's doing here is not going to save humanity.
It's fine.
What?
Maybe not now. Maybe not in this time. But there are possibilities. There have to be.
How are you so sure?
I know you've been through a lot. And I believe you when you say who you are. But I also believe that you used to be me. And I don't want to give up now.
You only hit me once that time.
Not when he came back.
I kind of kicked his shit in. I mean, the pistol was fully upgraded,
Not
so...
when we can try again.
And the shotgun was damn near fully upgraded, too, honestly.
He is not who you remember.
Well, in terms of damage, it was.
He is someone who wants to help me. He is a friend.
He is poison.
Veronica. Please. I want to have a future. Whatever it may be.
No. You are going to suffer. That is your future.
But without it, we don't even have a flicker of hope. Please. I want this.
Alright, so we're going to shoot him and end it here.
No! Why? Why would he even care?
I guess because of what he did to
I am
me.
your past, damn it! You could just go away and be free.
I am free.
Now I have the sickle. I do like that it's like it's you know the sickle, like the socialism, the symbol, communism or socialism.
We all are.
Well, and then I die. So then let me guess. So she goes through there. memory. Alright. Music's so good, by the way. Okay, so now let's see here.
Edward!
Okay, so she's looking for Edward.
Open up, Edward! Open up! Please!
Wait, that was from the beginning of the game. Oh, no, it wasn't. Well, no, we did hear that.
Veronica?
But it was probably like a
Hey.
vision.
It's all right.
I
Remember when we were in Edward's apartment?
just didn't want to be alone.
Oh, so she's infected. So wait, so is she infected regardless? That's kind of dumb. She's like infected regardless. So okay, so let me see here. So ending C. All right, so ending C is called Begin Anew. If you choose to begin anew, the Traveler and Veronica will leave the Pathfinder and step into a time rift to break the cycle and start fresh on their own. Without the Pathfinder's involvement, the pair presumably continues investigating the change and searching for a cure. So, for saving both Veronicas, you get the free for all the Scars trophy / achievement. Okay, so like really, it's kind of just open-ended. You never know if actually it's like being changed. So like, I guess like as I typed in Cronos like story explained, and I'm like looking at this here is like, so like what is the collective? I don't think it's ever really explained. I think it's completely up to interpretation. Like I said, I think that the idea of the collective is that when all the people went into these like government bunkers, their consciousness was, because here's the thing, like notice how one of the things we never see is that we don't hear ghosts or visions of other people, right? Or like you would think, right, that if these people, even if they merge, they would be able to speak, right? My thought is that their bodies don't matter. Their consciousness does. And so a lot of these people, they get uploaded into like some kind of a server, and then their bodies are just left behind because they're all going to merge anyway, right? Like the idea of like the change. What was the change? Also never really explained. My theory is that it's a disease brought on by time travel. The kill Pathfinder ending implies that it's a bit of a chicken and egg situation as well. Veronica contracts the disease through time travel, starting the whole thing. So okay, so there you go. So if it's a disease caused by time travel, we know like that the Pathfinder / Warden, seeing that he's able to travel through time using the sickle, by creating these rifts, and he's able to go, that he brings about the change, which was kind of like explained in the idea of him causing it. Because like one person said that they think that the steelworks, they're like, my guess, an ancient evil buried in the steelworks. Because we know like they dug too deep, right? They found something. Somebody commented on that and said like, I don't think that the steelworks itself is particularly special in that regard. Besides the fact that the Pathfinder traveled there, was captured and interrogated by Veronica by his own volition. I don't understand why the steelworks are the starting point, though. Veronica comes into contact with Edward, who we know wasn't infected, was actually staying in the bunker, not in the steelworks. So, I guess really... See, like, okay, so this person said, I think the collective is the consciousness of humanity after merging in the change. For some reason, they've quit sending travelers. I'm assuming because the Pathfinder went rogue into his own thing. They would send travelers back in time to claim certain souls and minds to add them to the collective for reasons. Okay, so then, right, like, Okay, so if we look at it that way, okay, so let's think of it this way, because yeah, that's a good point too, right? The change is almost like everybody's merging together. It's kind of a hive mind situation. So, okay, so let's look at this from a different perspective. Let's just kind of throw what I've said out the window, right? Right. I thought it was a Terminator situation. Guy comes back in time to stop the change from happening. Inadvertently, his existence in that realm causes said change. It all happens as it should, and therefore travelers come back to stop it, right, or whatever. So let's look at it that way. Let's pretend that the collective is the hive mind of all of the minds after the change has happened. The question is, how is it that and this makes sense, right? Because we know that in the church, Mother Eliza, the symbol that we saw in the church, right? The religion, the unitology, the Church of the Change or whatever the fuck they called it, the Church of the New Dawn, I think that's what it's actually called. The unitology death cult, right? They embrace the idea of changing, of becoming something else, right? So yes, so what if, right, the change, the collective is all of the minds after everybody's changed, and let's pretend that this change, this death cult that came about in the change, when they all merged, they essentially thought, okay, well, in what if? Well, see, now I've lost myself, right? Because I'm kind of on board with that, but then my thought is, why would they have created the travelers, right? Why would they send travelers back in time to collect minds if these minds were already then part of the collective? But if the minds were not part of the collective, why send them back to extract them anyway? What is the point? Is the point that these people, was it a Terminator situation in which these people had the possibility of stopping the change from happening, but we never really see that in this story, right? Like, is it possible that all of these people are a John Connor, right? Like, is Edward, is he a John Connor in the sense that the reason he is extracted is because he lives in the bunker, and if the change can't get to him and Angela, then he can somehow reach out to Veronica and they can possibly coalesce to stop the change from happening. Same thing with Zibbert. He's a doctor, right? He has the ability to work medically to perhaps find a cure for the change. So he's kind of a John Connor in his own. But then that leaves the brothers, right? That leaves Arthur. Is Arthur perhaps a John Connor because he would be able to convince them not to go down into the steel mill to then start the process of the change? Because if the steelworks is in fact the starting point, then we know that if it starts there, if nobody goes down or they don't dig down there, right, then the change won't ever happen. So they have to stop the person who's able to stop them from doing so. Maybe that's the kind of concept of it, or the idea behind it, is that they're all kind of a John Connor in their own right. But then the real question is, what about Veronica? Because maybe Veronica is not a John Connor. Maybe she's patient zero. Because both of these endings have shown that she is infected in the end, right? So what if she is the patient zero? What if her existence, maybe not the Pathfinders, but her existence is the reason why this happens? Because if the Pathfinder, if this disease is caused through time travel, the Pathfinder obviously has to somehow spread the disease. He's not infected, but he has to. I mean, I know that patient zero is the person who is not. They're like, well, technically, they would be infected, right? They would be the first ones to turn into the zombie, right? But what if he's not getting sick? What if he brings the sickness? And the first person that he's coming into contact with personally is Veronica, and he's passing it to her, and she is the first person who starts to change. Because we know that when we see her in the past, right, she's not infected and there's all these other infected around. But what if when she travels back in time, that's where the events start? What if, but see, then again, in my head, she comes into contact with Edward there and she's infected, so she then spreads it to him. What if the idea is not necessarily that it's one timeline? What if multiple timelines exist in which different things can occur, different people can be infected, and all of them, except for Veronica, are John Connors that are able to stop it? And the timeline that we're in right now is this broken earth that is completely and utterly destroyed. Everyone is dead, and the only person left is the warden slash pathfinder. He's used the body of Veronica in that universe, in that timeline, to essentially create travelers to come back for him, to try to make, because he's obsessed with this woman, to try to bring something about so that he can, fix his fucking mess. But none of it's ever working, except for when this traveler comes into play. He realizes there's something different about her, that she's like special. So the question there is like, is he the person that is basically the architect to ensuring that the change happens in all of these other timelines so that he's able to somehow get a Veronica that is able to fix everything? I mean, I know I'm getting off the rails, and I know it seems like I'm rambling. I know what I think. I know what I'm basically thinking of in my own head is that he's trying to find a Veronica that is able to fix this, so that he can then take whatever the fix is into every different universe and fix it. Because when he travels back, right, I don't think he's traveling to the same past every time. He's traveling to like a pocket dimension, right? He's traveling to a different time, like kind of like MCU. There's branching timelines, and he's jumping back. When he travels, he's not traveling back to the same one. He's traveling back to a different one every single time. He's infecting every single timeline. And so he's trying to find a Veronica that is able to fix this. Hence the reason he's building these travelers and sending them through these fucking rifts that he's opened. All of these rifts that we go through, I think, are leading to actually different timelines. They're not leading to the same past. They're leading to the same events that are happening in different dimensions in different pasts. At least that's maybe the thought. I mean, yeah, because like, again, if the collective, because that makes sense. If the collective is the minds of everybody, that makes sense why the whole church thing, the symbols are the same, because then the collective would be the ones that are sending people back. But it still doesn't make sense to me, besides the idea of it being like these John Connors that could potentially stop the change, and they basically want to stop all of that from happening. So it's like somebody created a comprehensive breakdown based on a massive amount of lore, dialogue, and UI text. So the universe will get between two distinct eras. Okay, yeah. Okay, so in the future, humanity is known as dead, replaced by hyper-advanced, almost religious machine entity known as the Collective. The Collective's goal is to harvest the essences of humanity from the past to build its power and achieve ascendance. To do this, they use the terminal to send cybernetic agents, called travelers, back to time drifts. However, the world in 1981 is being ravaged by a horrifying phenomenon known as change. It's not a normal virus. It defies the laws of physics, causes blindness, skin lesions, secreting adhesive fluids, and eventually forces human bodies to violently fuse together into massive, grotesque, multi-organism monstrosities. The Grand Paradox, the inciting incident. The entire tragedy of Cronos is a massive time loop. Yes, a bootstrap paradox. For the events of the game, the traveler known as Pathfinder is sent back to 81 to pave the way. However, the Pathfinder arrives in the underground tunnels of the New Dawn Steelworks and is discovered by the 1981 Steelworkers. Because he is wearing futuristic armor, the locals call him the Visitor. Discovery of the Visitor coincides with the outbreak of the Change. The communist government and military locked down the city of New Dawn, established strict quarantine zones, and captured the Visitor to study him. Project Seraphim, yes. They realize the Visitor is completely immune to the disease and believes he holds the key to a cure or a powerful weapon. Yes, we read about that. The Fall of New Dawn. The game's past takes place during the historical Polish martial law, but twisted by horrific outbreak. The city is sealed off. No one gets in, no one gets out. Okay, so like the fates of the extraction targets, okay. Protagonist's true identity, yes. In the future, the warden, who was once human and deeply loved Veronica, found her essence. Desperate to save her from the horrific fate of being consumed by the collective, he built a cybernetic traveler prosthetic shell. He implemented Veronica's salvage memory matrix in the machine, overriding her trauma with the traveler behavioral core to keep her sane, yes. The warden previously sent the Pathfinder to 1981 specifically to protect Veronica and stop her from dying, but the Pathfinder went rogue. He realized the collective was evil and that it didn't save souls, it fed on them. The essences want to be in constant wandering. The collective's plan does not always provide for wasting away. The Pathfinder refused to extract Veronica, instead allowing himself to be captured to alter the timeline. Because the Pathfinder failed, the warden built you, Veronica's reconstructed mind in a robot body, and sent you back to your own past to finish the job, completely wiping your memory of who you used to be. So, key lore concepts explain the change / biomass, an alien temporal phenomenon caused by the intersection of time travel and the anomaly. It causes human cells to seek symbiosis. Okay, the yeah, okay. Summary. Okay, so, but still, I understand. The idea is a time loop, but there's still, I feel like there's things that are not really being necessarily explained here, right? That I feel like I'm still trying to figure out, which is, like, how did the change occur to begin with? I feel like that's something we don't necessarily know, right? We don't necessarily know how the change began, right? So I wonder, do we think that regardless, do we think that there could possibly be a sequel to this? Because my thought is, right, if both, let's say even all three endings, is it possible that we could see a sequel from this game? Because the first ending, right, where we let the Pathfinder go back, that's just a repeat of the timeline, right? So regardless, those two endings, Veronica comes, when she travels back, she's infected, right? So, but my question is, why is it when she travels through time, she comes back infected, but when he travels through time, he doesn't? Is it because he is also an android robot fucking thing, and it's just his mind placed in there as well? And then that would fuck with the entire concept of it just being him, because if he was once human, he should be not immune to the disease. He would... My thought, the reason why he's immune is because he's a fucking robot. He's a robot, therefore he's not going to be able to get infected, right? The other question is if you go by ending C as the canon ending, and both Veronicas go back in time and they try to stop it, I think there's a setup for a sequel there, in which you travel in time, Veronica comes back with you, but because she's not with the Pathfinder, she doesn't come back infected. Because clearly, the idea of the time travel causing infection, I think you already have to be I think that the Pathfinder had to have been infected to begin with. There's another thought that I have is was he also once human, able to travel through time, and when he traveled through time, he was infected, therefore infecting other people, and then eventually he became, a traveler in a suit, right? Regardless, there's so much to unpack, and there's not a lot of, answers. Again, I have so many questions that I feel like are not getting answered, and again, I've explained it the best I can in the idea of this being like a Terminator type, like the bootstrap paradox, the idea of this being like a Terminator type time loop, right? Like, I feel like that's the best explanation for the story for this game, but I can't really go beyond that because it makes me wonder if this game will get expanded upon. Because here's the thing, I want to also now take the time, and I know I've been sitting here and talking, but in all honesty, I'm gonna, it's I've been talking about it for like 15 minutes. I think it's worth talking about because I just want to point out that now that we're at the end, I do want to rescind a lot of what I said about this game originally. When I made my original video when this game first came out, when they didn't have difficulty options, I really hated playing this game because it was overwhelmingly difficult. I mean, overwhelmingly difficult, and there were a lot of people. Some like actual, relatively, I don't want to say famous, but some relatively known VTubers talked about this, and some other streamers talked about how this game was just unreasonably hard and not worth playing. And I agreed with them, and I was really harsh on this game when it came out. I made several tweets talking about how I thought that this was Bloober Team's worst game because it was so overwhelmingly hard that it was just unfun. And in truth, it really is. But I want to rescind a lot of those statements now, and I really want to actually talk about my true thoughts of how I feel about this game now. Because we've kind of talked about the idea of the story at the end here, and I think that we're not really going to get anywhere else unless they really expand by making another game of some kind, maybe expanding the story, answering some of those questions I think we have. Knowing, obviously, this is like a time loop situation, like I said, like a Terminator style. I want to talk about my thoughts about this game before we pack this shit up and we wrap it. Frankly, I want to rescind a lot of what I said. And I know that, like, you'll never see that video. When I made it, it was like almost 2 hours. And really, I said a lot of really negative shit about the game in the video, but I deleted the video and I never put it out because I was so overwhelmingly angry playing it that I just did not put the video out. But now I want to actually talk about how I feel about it now that I've beaten it, now I've played it. I feel like the addition of the difficulty, the easier difficulty, was a great choice because... Take a sip of water. I feel like the game starts out still a bit challenging, but as you progress it, the game gets easier as you kind of upgrade yourself. And I want to say that in terms of the world... I think this game is horrific. It is the world is unique in the sense that you're going between 4 like different areas, and all of these areas are starkly different from the previous. And I think that it's a disgusting, horrible world that is very like reminiscent of. I mean, it's cool because it's very much like the Thing / like it's like if there had been an apocalypse within the Thing, like if the movie The Thing was about a apocalypse, almost, right? I mean, sure, it's not like, you know what I mean. Point is that I feel like this world is very gross and disgusting and dark and horrible. And it's also very cool because it's very, like, it takes place in Poland, so it's like that Eastern Europe, brutalism style fucking look that you get. And I think that the art design is very cool. I think all the creatures are really cool. I think that, the weapon, I think that the weapons, like, they have basically 2 different versions of each weapon, and then that arbalist is fucking wild. What an insane gun to have. But I feel like in terms of like the stuff that I read, I think that in terms of the story, even though the story is a little confusing and you don't get a lot of answers, I think that stuff is, now that I've gone through it all, I think it's good. I think that really the truly shining star, and this is something I say with all Bloober Team games, and I've been saying it, is that the fucking music is phenomenal. I think that the music in this has been some of my favorite music. And I know that this game, I know that's like, it's 2026, and this game came out last year, but if I could go back and add this to, like, good games of the year, this game would make that top 10 list. Unfortunately, I'm obviously not going to go back and do that. But I've thoroughly enjoyed my time with this game now that I've gone back and given it a chance. I'm kind of glad I did, because originally I wasn't going to. Originally I said I would never touch this game again, but when they put the easier difficulty in, I thought maybe I'll go back and maybe I'll make a video and maybe I'll talk about it and see how I feel about it. But after playing that first video, I thought, you know what, let's just kind of keep going. And as we kept going, it for me got better. And so I want to say on the record, to anybody who's made it this far, made it to the end of the video, listening to me ramble on, I know, let me just say that I want to apologize for the things that I said about the devs and said about this game when it came out, because I feel like, in all honesty, I feel like when the devs are willing to go in and adjust difficulty settings, and again, I've talked about this with other games, I feel like if Souls games had difficulties, I would play more of them. First Berserker Kazan is such a great example, and that was my game of the year last year. That was my game of the year. It beat Yote. Okay, that's how good that game was. I feel like when devs are willing to go back and do an adjustment like that, I am willing to go back and give it another chance. And I now feel vindicated in my purchase of the deluxe edition of this game. I'm going to say this right here and now. If you have seen this playthrough and you want to play this game for yourself, pick it up, because I think that if you, and especially because the regular difficulty is very hard, at least in my opinion and the opinion of many others, it's very difficult. Play it on the easier difficulty, and I think that it's a lot better of a way to experience it, because this game is kind of, a lot of traditional survival horror, but I think that it really is such a cool, unique world with a lot of really just horrific and grotesque. There's a lot of shit that's hard to see. The weapons are cool. The music is phenomenal. And of course, there's also, costumes as well. You have all these, costumes. These were added in. These were, added in updates. But, if you get the deluxe edition... Well, I pre-ordered the game, so that's how I got this. But when you get the deluxe edition, you get these costumes as well, which is cool. So you can kind of swap between costumes, which I think is pretty sweet. And, of course, there's, a New Game Plus. And I'm definitely going to play the New Game Plus because I want to get that third ending, but I also want to upgrade all my weapons. And I'm going to go back and get, all the other achievements for the cast and stuff like that. So, yeah. But I personally want to say that I was wrong. I want to say I'm wrong on the game now because the devs went back and adjusted it. If they had never changed it, I would have never come back and given it another shot. But I think personally that the story, the art, the music, it's all great, and I think you should all check it out. Obviously I played this side by side with Resident Evil 9, but I want to also say that when we comes to games coming up on the channel, we're going to be starting 2 more horror games. It's just horror after horror after horror. And the first game is going to be the first in a series of games that I have been kind of wanting to play on the channel for a while. And the second is a game that is about to come out that we may have a problem with. And you'll see what I mean when we get there. Anyway, I want to thank you all for joining me on Cronos, and I personally am going to have a lot of fun playing New Game Plus. At least this game has New Game Plus, Resident Evil 9. I'll see you all on the next one. Thank you all for joining me, and thank you for listening to me ramble on here at the end if you did. I apologize, but I just had to talk about all this. Thank you, and goodbye.